Tell me, do you ever feel out of place, as though you're looking at the world through a pane of glass, unable to step into the chocolate factory? As though everything around you feels too loud, too absurd, too superficial. And then, amidst this inner chaos, someone says to you, "Smile at life and life will smile back." What do you feel? You probably feel the same way I used to. Insulted, right? It's a naive phrase, almost vulgar. How could anyone ask you to smile when a storm rages so fiercely inside you it leaves you breathless? How could anyone say those words, treating you like Forrest Gump, when inside you, Mordor churns with its flames and shadows, that crushing weight and the relentless feeling that everything around you is fake? Back then, those words had the same effect on me. My mother would often say them, "Smile at life, and life will smile back." She believed wholeheartedly that this was a universal truth, a remedy for all pain. But to me, an adolescent drowning in my own melancholy, those words felt like a slap in the face. How could I possibly smile when I felt like a stranger to everything? Watching the world through a lens of skepticism, convinced that I didn't belong. Perhaps you've felt this way too, that sense of disconnection, that void, that unbearable isolation that feels like yours alone to carry. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to stay that way. Because I've been there, and this is not a story of someone who's always known the light. It's the story of a dark prince. A dark soul, a seeker of beauty in the shadows, learning to smile, to truly smile, without betraying his depth. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore how to navigate the weight of melancholy, how to embrace both the shadows and the light, and yes, how to find the courage to smile at life. Are you ready to step through this doorway with me? Let's begin. So there you are, sitting with your thoughts, staring into the void that feels uniquely yours. This chasm inside you, it's vast, it's heavy, and it's unrelenting. You start to wonder, why me? Why this weight? Why do I feel so out of sync with the world? You look for answers. Maybe they're hidden in the books you love, between the lines of poetry you cling to at night like a lifeline. Or maybe you search for them elsewhere, in fleeting distractions, in moments where the chaos inside you quiets down, if only for a little while. But the questions persist. They tug at you, demanding to be answered. And so, like many of us, you begin to explore. You stumbled upon those famous self-help videos, the ones promising magical solutions, 3 steps to success, 5 keys to happiness, 10 tips to transform your life. But instead of offering solace, they deepen your frustration. These gurus, with their pristine smiles and neatly curated advice, reduce the complexity of existence to a handful of simplistic formulas. Their sterilized brand of happiness, their quick-fix solutions, they feel insulting. And then there's love. The kind of love you long for, believing it will rescue you. You meet someone, and at first, everything is light. You place them on a pedestal, convinced they'll be the answer to the void within you. But reality always intrudes. You come to realize that love in real life is nothing like the love found in novels. You expect too much, or perhaps not enough. Slowly, whether consciously or not, you let the relationship wither. Not because the other person has changed, but because they no longer match the idealized image you had created. This is where Baudelaire steps in with the albatross. Like that majestic bird, you carry wings meant for the heavens, yet you feel clumsy and burdened, grounded by the mundanity of reality. Baudelaire wrote, "Exiled on the ground, amidst jeers, his giant wings prevent him from walking." You feel that unbearable gap between what you imagine and what life actually gives you. At night, you fall asleep with dreams as vast as cathedrals, only to awaken in the morning with Lady Melancholy sitting at the edge of your bed. She's there, ever faithful, whispering, "Why bother? Why hope?" This is just how life is. But that void inside you, it shapes you too. It pushes you to search deeper, to question what others accept without hesitation. Slowly, it gives you a role to play. And so, because you've arrived at the conclusion that you cannot be happy by smiling at life like normal people, you craft a persona, an identity. You become the dark prince of your own story. At parties, you are magnetic. When the night grows late and inhibitions fade, when alcohol loosens tongues and people begin to share their truths, your search for beauty and raw emotion finds its moment. You speak with gravity, with poetry. You seek to unravel the hidden, to touch souls where they are most vulnerable. And sometimes you succeed, but there are other moments when you cannot bear the laughter, the clinking glasses, the noise of easy happiness. When it feels like the weight of it all is pressing against you, you become Harry Haller, the Steppenwolf, wandering the streets, cigarette in hand, gazing at life's revelry from afar. A stranger, always watching but never truly part of it. You prefer the edges, balconies, dimly lit streets, quiet corners. You stand at a distance, observing the rhythm of life like an outsider peering into someone else's world. The fragmented laughter, the lights behind windows, the music spilling from a party. All of it fascinates and repels you in equal measure. You are drawn to it, yet incapable of stepping fully into it. Sometimes you walk alone through cobblestone streets under the moonlight, music in your ears and dreams filling your mind. But those dreams, so grand and consuming in the moment, always seem to shatter on the cold pavement of reality. You feel the duality within you, a deep yearning for something greater, yet tethered to a reality that feels indifferent to your longing. And in these moments of solitude, Hermann Hesse's words come to you like a quiet echo. The Steppenwolf suffers because in his own soul he cannot reject or accept fully the world and its conventions. He's always a stranger. That line lingers in your mind, capturing the very essence of what you feel. The paradox of wanting to belong while refusing to conform. You live on the threshold, both a part of and apart from the world. In the quiet hours of the night, you turn to your heroes. Baudelaire, Rimbaud, Nietzsche, Hamlet, tragic, flawed, and endlessly captivating. They become your companions, your kindred spirits. Their words live in the pages you clutch like lifelines in a storm. They tell you that you are not alone in your struggle, that others before you have felt this same void, this same ache. And for a time, that is enough. Their company feels sublime, even sacred. But when the morning comes, what once felt profound begins to feel hollow. The solitude that you thought was your strength starts to weigh on you, crushing more than it comforts. You thought you had mastered your shadows, but the truth is, they've mastered you. And yet amidst this endless wandering, something shifts. You meet others, unexpected companions, people who, like you, carry their own scars and shadows. People who reflect back to you parts of yourself you thought no one could ever understand. One day you meet people who, like you, are wounded. They carry their scars openly, not as marks of shame, but as proof of survival. These friends, these kindred spirits, are not perfect. They stumble, they fall, but they also laugh, and they rise again. And they captivate you, because where you remain frozen in your melancholy, they move forward. They embrace life, even when it hurts. Little by little, you get to know them. They become your mirror. Through their words, their gestures, you see your own pain reflected back, but you also see resilience, strength, and even joy. One night, one of them shares their story. It's not the same as yours, but it resonates. They speak of failures, battles, sleepless nights spent searching for meaning, but they also speak of moments, tiny moments, that made it all worthwhile. A sunrise after a long night, a laugh shared over something insignificant, and you listen, truly listen, because in their words, in their laughter, in their silences, you feel something shift inside you. Through them, you learn that you're not alone, that the chasm separating you from the world is not a prison, but a bridge. And for the first time, you begin to see another possibility. One evening, as you walk home after a conversation with one of them, you catch yourself smiling, not for show, not for anyone else, just a quiet, genuine smile. And that small, almost imperceptible smile marks the beginning of something new. And then you remember that smile, that quiet, genuine smile from that night. It stayed with you, lingering in your mind, like the faintest trace of a melody. One day, as if summoned by that memory, it happens again. You smile at someone, a stranger, an old woman, a child. It's not premeditated. It's just a reflex, a fleeting moment. You expect nothing in return. But then, you see their face light up, and something within you shifts. It's subtle at first, like the glow of a match struck in the dark. That small gesture, so simple, creates ripples, not just in them, but in you too. You start to notice the little things. A ray of sunlight breaking through a clouded sky. The comforting hum of laughter spilling from a cafe. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee curling into the morning air. At first, these moments seem like faint whispers in the noise of your life. But as you tune in, you realize they've always been there, waiting for you to notice. And then, unexpectedly, your hands reach for something, a pen, a paintbrush, an instrument. Creation becomes your way forward. Through art, you process what words cannot. You take your pain, your chaos, and transform it into something tangible, a melody, a sketch, a few written words. Little by little, you externalize the shadows within you, and in that process, you rebuild the bridges to yourself. Slowly, you realize something profound. The beauty you've been chasing doesn't always dwell in the extraordinary or the unattainable. Sometimes it's right there, in the rhythm of the everyday. Those idle office conversations you once dismissed as shallow, now they make you chuckle. The jokes you used to roll your eyes at, now they elicit a genuine laugh. The colleagues you once judged too harshly, now you see them as they are. Flawed, kind, human, just like you. It's not the world that has changed, it's you. And perhaps to truly embrace this shift, you need to forgive yourself. Maybe peace lies in recognizing that your sensitivity, your instability, your moments of being lost, none of it is your fault. It's simply your nature, and your nature is beautiful. You don't need to carry the weight of guilt for who you are. This is when Kundera's words echo back to you. The unbearable lightness of being. Now you understand. Life will always teeter between heaviness and lightness, between shadow and laughter. It's not something to fix or conquer. It's something to embrace, a paradox to live. Smiling doesn't mean pretending the darkness isn't there. It doesn't mean silencing your inner shadows. It's daring to bring light into them, and creation, art, music, writing, dance, becomes your lantern, not an escape, but a reflection, not a cure, but a transformation. Art doesn't erase the darkness, it shapes it into something meaningful. And then you remember Camus and his Sisyphean hero. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. You've always rolled your boulder uphill day after day, but now you understand how you carry it. That's your choice. The boulder doesn't have to be a burden. It can be a dance, it can be a painting, it can be a symphony. Each smile, each act of creation becomes a quiet act of rebellion. A way to face life without rejecting it, a small, deliberate stand against despair. Each smile, each brushstroke, each melody whispers back to you. I choose to live. I choose to create, despite everything. And so, we reach the end of this journey into the psyche of the Dark Prince. Tell me, where are you standing today? As for me, I've begun to grasp the quiet wisdom in my mother's words. Smile at life, and life will smile back. What once felt naive now reveals its hidden truth. Even the faintest smile can carry the weight of 1,000 shadows. And you? Are you still on that balcony gazing at the world with melancholic detachment, cigarette in hand, convinced life is safer observed from the shadows? Or are you ready to step forward, to join the dance, awkward steps and all? Smiling at life doesn't mean denying your shadows. It doesn't mean betraying the Dark Prince within you. It's about inviting him into the light and realizing beauty isn't only found in the grand or unattainable, it's in the fleeting, the imperfect, the real. It's in a stranger's smile, the echo of laughter, sunlight filtering through the trees. Life offers small, quiet moments of magic if you let yourself see them. Life won't suddenly become perfect, it doesn't have to. It's about trying. Even a crooked smile beats a perfect frown. If this story resonated with you, share it. Perhaps your hesitant smile will be the spark someone else needs. And who knows, one day when you least expect it, life might just smile back.